I hope you're having a great day. I'm Maddie. Today I'm going to be making some marble soaps for the Soap Challenge Club, the July challenge this month. Every month the Soap Challenge Club does a different thing, a different theme. This month it was marble soaps. So I tried a couple of different things and they didn't quite work out. I only had time to do one soap, and that's what I'm going to show y'all. I also wanted to preface my video with saying that this isn't a tutorial or a how-to video per se, in case you want to make soap but haven't done that yet. Cold process soap can be really dangerous. I'm working with dangerous stuff with lye, it can really hurt you. I will link in the description box, however, a couple of links to Soap Queen TV and Brambleberry, which are really good starter places. They helped me when I started, and I'm still really new, so they still help me out, and they still help experts out. So if you want to get into soap making and you want to try this out for yourself, that's the best place to start, and I'll link some of her beginner level stuff, safety videos online, color, and things like that down in the description box. Alright, so this is my snazzy soap. I did a little bit of experiments the other day, and I think I want to do it white with colored mica. Here's a more full-size one. I kind of like just the way that it comes out. With this smaller one, I used orange, purple, and red. And then I also picked out a yellow and a blue for the bigger batch, but I don't know if I'm going to use all of them. So I already put my TD, my titanium dioxide, into my oils. And my oils and my lye are like right at the same temperature. Make sure. Alright, my oils are 95. And my lye is 104, so not quite the same. They were a few minutes ago. I put about 1.5 teaspoons of titanium dioxide into my oils here because I'm making the whole batch white. I'm not making it any other color. I'm not putting any swirls in it. That's most of my air bubbles. So with titanium dioxide, you can't just stir it in by hand. You really have to use the stick blender. Most people use it and put it in their lye water solution. I just accidentally put it in my oils today. I'm going to try to make it pretty thick. That way I can texture it as soon as I put it in. Usually I make really small batches. I haven't made a whole thing of soap like this, a whole batch of loaf soap like this in a little while. It's been a minute. Alright, so I kind of forgot about the fragrance oil. All my other test batches that I did not use a fragrance oil in. So I totally forgot about it, but luckily I remembered. So I have that measured out here on my side. It does accelerate a little bit, so I'm going to mix it in, and my soap's already pretty thick. So I'm going to mix it in by hand to try to minimize it a little bit, and then I'll decide if I want to keep stick blending, if I still want it to be a little bit more thick after I've mixed it in for a few minutes, because I don't want it to get too thick, because then I won't be able to pour it for the first layer, and the second layer that I put in might break the first layer of mica. So the fragrance that I'm using is Grapefruit Bellini from Brambleberry. It's a nice citrus fragrance. It's actually really nice. I don't really like citrus fragrances, but I do really like this. It's kind of a soft citrus. figured it would match. My sweetness helped me pick it out. It would match the rainbow kind of theme, the rainbow colors that I'm using. So I measured out 1.3 ounces of fragrance, and this is a little less than 2 pounds, so I haven't done my math in a minute. I know that's the correct usage rate, but I think it's about 5%. That's what most of my fragrance oils are at, is at 5%. And my soap's a really nice white color once it hardens and I have my heating pad turned on. Once it goes through gel phase, it'll be a really nice, bright, vibrant white color, which I hope and think will really bring out the micas. I don't know if you could tell, you can sort of see, even though the mica line wasn't cut directly through all of it, you can see a little bit where underneath the white there's still colors in the soap, and I really liked that effect. Right. This is my first time participating in the Soap Challenge Club. I signed up for one several months ago, I think around December or November, several months ago. But I ended up not even putting any soap in, entering any soap in, because I couldn't quite get it down what I wanted, and my supplies didn't come in the mail, so it was kind of a last-minute decision for me to even sign up. Last time, so this is my first time actually participating in the soap club. Alright. I'm trying to texture it a little bit in the pot here. I think it'll be good. I think I can do this. Alright. So this is my mold. It's just a loaf mold. I have these books because it's a silicone mold, so it bows out a little bit. And I have this popsicle stick measured out with 1 inch and 2 inches, which is where I'll put the mica line, and then where I'll cut the soap so that it's about the same size and dimensions of a normal soap. So I'm hoping it can stay up. It stayed up a little while ago. There we go. So that it's mostly straight up and down. And then let me grab my colorants. So my soap's getting pretty thick. Normally I wouldn't be happy with that, but since it's one color and I want it to be relatively thick for the texturing for the mica, this is actually pretty good consistency. Actually might be just a little bit too thick. I might have overestimated it some. Okay, so that didn't work. We have to start over again. Last time I made this soap, just the other day, I made it a little bit too thick. My last soap was a little bit too thick, and I couldn't texture the layers, and it didn't come out very good, so it's not going to be my entry for this month's challenge, but that's okay. Luckily, I have enough time to make another entry, make another soap, just enough time. The deadline for submitting my soap is less than a week away. It's this coming Monday. Today is Thursday, and it's this coming Monday. So I'm actually not even going to add titanium dioxide. Last time I added TD to make it white, but I kind of like the way that my sample soap looked, my test soap, without any colorant. It's kind of a slightly clear color. I mean, translucent. It's slightly translucent for the colors and micas behind it. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Alright, so it's at a thin trace right now, a really thin trace right now, so I'm going to add my fragrance oil now. The fragrance oil that I am using in place of grapefruit Bellini, because I don't have enough grapefruit Bellini, is Jasmine Dreams from Brambleberry. I don't think it matches the colors quite as perfectly as the grapefruit Bellini did. I really did like, my sweetness and I both liked the way the citrus smelled, and we just thought it matched a lot better with the citrus grapefruit smell, but I did not have enough, alas. Alright, so I'm adding in my fragrance oil, and that was the thing that I forgot last time, was my fragrance oil. I forgot to measure it out, and I also forgot that it accelerated the soap, so I made my soap at such a thick trace, and then remembered about my fragrance oil, and it just thickened it a little bit too much for this. I do need my soap to be a little bit thick, so I'm going to go for a heavy medium trace or so, because once I've stirred, I can loosen it up a little tiny bit. This is pretty good. It's a lot easier to get the soap thick than it is to get it thin again. Right. Yeah, I think that's good. So I already have my heating mat turned on so that I can do gel phase, and I actually have my mold in or on top of the heating pad and inside all my towels right now so that it can start to get a little bit warm. I'm using a thick cutting board to carry my mold, and I was worried last time that the thickness of the cutting board might have affected how hot the mold and the soap got. So I'm hoping that this will help a little bit by heating it up before I put the soap in a little bit as well. Alright. Alright, I think this looks really good actually. Yeah, I can still mix it up, but it's thick enough that I should be able to texture really easy actually. I think this is the perfect thickness. I'm going to go grab my mold. This is my mold, and I have a popsicle marked with my 1 and 2 inches, which is how thick I want, which is where I want to stop my layers. I was afraid of that. It took me a second to find that, so hopefully I don't run into the exact same problem that I was trying to avoid. I don't think I will. I think I'll be okay. Alright. Let's try to make this sit up. There we go. Alright. So I'm going to try to pour it slowly-ish so that I don't have to tap the mold down so much to get air bubbles out. That was what I did last time. I tapped the mold to get air bubbles out and forgot to texture. It ended up flattening my soap, and I forgot to texture the top because I was freaking out a little bit about how thick the soap was getting. Alright, let's put just a little bit more. Go. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm still going to tap it out to try to get some air bubbles up, but I'm going to remember this time, because I've got a little bit more time. I kind of know what to expect right now. And I'm going to remember to texture it. Alright. I think it's thin enough that I don't really need to tap it down a whole lot. I don't think there was a whole lot of air bubbles in it. Alright, so I'm going to texture it just a couple of different ways. I'm not sure how deep I want to go into the soap, into this first layer, but it definitely needs to be textured, because without the texture on the soap, the mica will just sit on a line, on a flat line, and it won't, when I cut it in half, have the marble effect that I need for this. Okay, so my popsicle stick's kind of in the way. Hopefully you will be able to see a little bit better when I start putting the mica on it. Move this out of the way. And I'm using the same 3 colors as last time. Using orange, fuchsia, and violet powder micas. I did learn a little bit last time that a little bit of mica goes a long way. So I'm using a smaller spoon measure to pick the mica up and put it into my tea strainer. Okay. So this is a 1/4 teaspoon measure. Start with the orange. And I'm sure it'll be enough. It doesn't have to cover, each color does not have to cover the entire mold, the entire soap. I actually kind of don't want it to cover the entire soap, because I want the other colors to come through. Go. Alright, and then I'm going to do the fuchsia. And these are all from a company called Decor Rom from Amazon. I bought them off Amazon. They are skin safe, but the company kind of specializes, I think, in resin dyes. So you can't buy anything more than a sample pack of a whole bunch of colors. They don't sell like an ounce or two of one color if you really like one color from them. So once I run out of these samples, I won't order from them again, just because of that. Alright, and my last color, let me mix up my soap to make sure it's fluid enough. And then my last color is going to be the violet. I don't know, what was what? I don't know, and I hope I won't need to start over again and put more of the same color. But we will see. Oh my gosh. Alright. My last soap, even though I'm not going to be using it for this, I'm still going to rebatch it. So I will show you guys how I rebatch soap. I think I'm going to put just a little bit more purple on this side. But I think I should be good on color. Alright. I don't want to get wishy-washy and think that I need more of something when I kind of don't, because I'm thinking about adding a little more orange as well, but I think that's just because since it was the first color I put on, it's covered up by the fuchsia and the purple, fuchsia and the violet. So I'm not going to add any more of any of the colors. I'm just going to leave them like this. Okay. I am, however, going to take this popsicle stick out, and I'm going to use it to wipe down the edges of the mold. That way I don't have mica lined up against the sides up here. that will get on my next layer of soap. Alright, that didn't work out quite as good as I thought it would. But it still worked out. I'm going to tap them all down because since the soap's a little bit thick, it kind of has a gap between the edges. It didn't work out quite as good as I wanted it to, but it'll work. Alright. And now I'm going to add the second layer. I'm just going to kind of plop it down with my spatula, and hopefully that will keep it from breaking through this textured layer that I've already made, because my soap is getting pretty thick now. And then once I put it on and kind of smooth it across the mica line, I'll just dump the rest of it in. And I want to be a little careful. I've never done anything like this before, actually. So I'm not sure if smoothing the top layer down with my spatula might do anything to the bottom layer of mica. Hoping that that does not happen, that I can smooth it across gently enough that I'll still have my mica line. Alright, hopefully I didn't mess up my mica line too bad doing that. Alright. And then I'm just going to dump the rest of it out, because I don't need to worry about it breaking through or messing anything up, since I've got a pretty thick layer of soap on top of the mica already. So I'm just going to scrape out as much soap as I can out of this big bowl. And then I'll even it out with my spatula again and maybe tap it down, because I'm pretty sure there are air bubbles all on this top layer. So it's been a couple of days, so I'm going to unmold and cut up my soap. I'm hoping that it came out a good color. The color looks fine. I'm hoping that the mica line came out good and I'll be able to cut it good. I'm not sure if putting it in gel phase did anything, since it's a white soap. It's actually really nice. This is kind of the color that I was thinking. It'll be a little bit more translucent in the thinner slices. I'm wondering if gel phase did anything to the mica. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah. I have a bunch of air bubbles on the sides. That's not good. Alright. So that was my entry for the July challenge. I did the Snazzy soap. I did a couple of sample batches of trial batches where I did other colors, mainly green. I really wanted to do a green marble, but it didn't quite work out. I didn't have quite enough time to do the Snazzy and the green marble, unfortunately, but I will hopefully be doing this again. I really did like the marble soap. I really learned a lot of stuff from this. So the first one that I did was Grapefruit Bellini, which I'll be rebatching later on, and I'll show you when I do that. I'll show you how to do that. And then this is the soap that I ended up entering. There we go. So you can see some of it has a lot more color than other parts, but it came out pretty good. These will be on sale in my Etsy shop mid-September, late September timeframe. And if you want to know exactly when, or if you're interested in getting some of these rainbow marble soaps, I'm going to link in the description my Instagram page if you want to follow me and see what I'm up to. I'll be doing, participate in the August challenge, so you'll get to see what I'm up to and what I'm thinking about for the August challenge, and that'll be a video coming out pretty soon also. I'm glad you stayed this long and liked the video enough, and I hope you have a great day.